Welcome to Flash Tutorial 55, Basic Website. This is a beginner's tutorial. I'm starting a new FLA. The width I'll make 700, the height 500, and the rest can stay the same, making sure Action Script 3 is selected. And what I want to do is make the sections, the different sections of our web page, I want to give them a frame label. So this first layer we have, let's call this frame, F-R-A-M, L-A-B as in frame label. Click that first frame of that layer, open your properties panel, and this is talking about the frame. We're going to give it a frame name, opening, O-P-E-N-I-N-G. Enter. Now, because I have a really low resolution, I can only see like 50 frames on my timeline. And because of that, I'm going to have to make these sections short so that when I'm working on it, I don't have to go back and forth. And when we're finished, we'll extend them. So go to frame 10, insert a keyframe, and there's my opening section of my web page. Page 11. Insert a blank keyframe, open up the properties panel, and call this home. Now, if I haven't said it, this is for the new users. This is the basics, very basics, and I'm going to be going to a fair amount of detail. So if you have a lot of experience with Flash, you may not want to be taking your time to watch this video. Again, I want to take this one up to, this is frame 11, as you can see. Go up to frame 21, insert a keyframe, and that takes my home up to there. Go to the next one, insert a keyframe, and I'm going to do this for 4 more times, and when I have them done, I'll come back and show you what I have done. And I'm going to do the last one with you. I happen to be on frame 55. Inserting a blank keyframe, and this one is going to be called Contact Us, C-O-N-T-A-C-T, capital U-S, no spaces, and I want that to be, if it's on 55, to go to 65, insert a keyframe. So if I look at it, I have opening, I have a section for my home, vacations, tours, about us, and contacts. And it doesn't matter if you're off by a few frames, that doesn't matter at all. So let's lock this layer so we don't put something on it by mistake. Insert a layer, and let's put that layer down the bottom. All I do is drag it down the bottom and call this Windmill, W-I-N-D-M-I-L-L. That's the name of this particular company that we're going to make this web page for, the Windmill Travel Agency. Go to your library panel, click that library. If you don't have that docked here, click Window, Library. It'll open up, and then you can drag it down into here. So in the bottom of the library panel, there's this little page that turned over, says New Symbol. Click on that, and you're going to make a movie clip, and you're going to call it Windmill _MC. Windmill _MC. And I already have mine done. Here it is. I'm going to open it for a minute, and it's made up of a few parts. So let's look at what the parts are. First of all, there's a base, and the base is, and how I made that base was I'll just draw it quickly for you. I made a rectangle, so I picked my rectangle tool up. Doesn't matter what the colors are. I made a rectangle like this. I picked up my selection tool, and I just drag that in like that, and drag that like that. Then I put a door on top of it, and I put a ball on top of that door. I'm just Xing that off. That's the base. I then made a propeller. Now, not only did I make a propeller, let's make it first. How I made that is I took my oval tool. So I clicked on this oval tool. I made a long oval like this. I highlighted it. Oh, I took my free transform tool, click my free transform tool, pull this down here, then back to your selection tool, right click, copy it, then right click, paste in place. So now there's two of them there. Back to the free transform tool, and I rotated it like that, and then I paste in place again, rotated it, and eventually I've got all my windmills made. That's how I made them. Now, I'm just getting rid of that. Then what I did was I highlighted it. It's called the propeller right there. That's it there. See that? I highlighted it, and I turned it into a movie clip just by going up to modify, converted it to symbol, and I gave it the name propeller, P-R-O-P underscore MC. That's why in my library you see this thing called propeller. There it is there, because I'm going to write some code on it. There's my propeller. Once I had it all drawn, I then put in a actions layer. Now remember that this propeller, if I double click on it, remember that if I double click on this propeller, it's a movie clip. So it means I can write code on it. I made an actions layer, and in that actions layer I have some code. It's a stage event listener, so it's STAGE period add event listener, small a, capital E, capital L. That'll all turn blue if it's spelt right. Open bracket, event, E-V-E-N-T, I got a capital E, period, enter underscore frame. That's all capital letters, and it again turns blue. A comma, and I'm calling this function frame, capital F-R-A-M-E. You can put any name in here you want as long as it doesn't turn blue when you're finished. Close brackets, semicolon. Here's the function that we're calling up. That turns a purplish color. This frame is this same word here, frame, bracket, open bracket, E colon event. That's the same event here. Close bracket, colon void. Void's just the communications within the program. Open curly bracket. That's that movie clip. P-R-O-P, capital P-R-O-P underscore MC, period. Rotation, R-O-T-A-T-I-O-N, that turns blue, plus equals 5, semicolon, close curly bracket. So every time it comes into this frame, and we're doing 24 frames per second, the propeller will turn 5 degrees. So now that we have that movie clip made, let's go back to scene 1. Go back to frame 1 of this windmill layer. Select that frame. Open the library and grab this windmill. Drag it on the stage for now. Click here, make it fit, and let's put it approximately here for now. And if we tested this out, control test movie, nothing's happening. Now let's see. Oh yeah, on our windmill movie clip we didn't give it an instance name. So go back to your main timeline, double click on the windmill, the propeller, unlock that layer, make sure you have it selected with your selection tool, open the properties panel, and see we don't have an instance name. PROP_MC. Now, this should work. Test the movie. No errors this time, and our propeller's turning. Okay, let's go back to scene 1 if you're not on scene 1. And lock that windmill layer. Insert another layer. Drag it down so it's behind the windmill. Call it Sky. SKY. Enter. Again, open your library panel. Click that. Create a movie clip. Call it Sky_MC. Make sure movie clip is selected. We're in this movie clip Sky_MC, and I'm just going to paste something in. Have a look at it. I made a very, very long blue rectangle. I just picked up my rectangle tool, and I have for my stroke, I have no stroke, that one. And for my fill, I picked up some light color of a sky. And I just made that long rectangle very long like that. Naturally, I have that. This color is a bluish color. Okay, that's what I did. Then on top of that, I drew some white clouds. There they are there. I'm on 25%, and you can see it's taken up quite a bit. Now, what's important is, let's go back to scene 1 for a minute. Let's go back to scene 1 and select that first layer of the sky. Open your library, drag that sky in. There's my down here. What's important about this is that it's going to have clouds. See how compared to my stage, look how big it is. Oops, compared to my stage. It's 1, 2, almost 3 times my stage. But what's important is that at the very end, there are no clouds for a period of time, because it's going to loop around again, and it's going to be coming up to this spot where there's no clouds. When you get this dragged in, using your arrow keys, see I got it's highlighted now. Use your arrow keys, tab it up like that, right click off to the side, and there's your sky. While we're here, double click on this sky. That puts me back into the movie clip. Drag this back where you want it. Oops, Control C. Make sure you have everything selected. Actually, the best way is right click, select all. Otherwise you won't get the clouds. Select all. And again, get this way over here where it's going to start in position. Again, use my arrow keys to get this where I want it. And go up to about frame 550, 600, somewhere around there. I'm going to go up to frame 545. Insert a keyframe. Make sure it's all selected again. Right click, select all. Drag it, drag it, drag it, drag it, so that I have, again, see how I got some left over here? Now come up here on your timeline, right click, classic tween. And that's going to move across the sky very, very, very slow. Go back to scene 1. Lock that sky layer. Insert a layer. Call it grass. Drag that down below the sky. So the grass is on the bottom. Make sure all the layers are locked. Select frame 1 of this grass layer. And Come down here again, make sure your rectangle tool is selected. Make sure there's no stroke. See that, the line through there. Now pick up a grassy color. I'm going to go with that for now. Making this a little bit bigger. Oops, 100%. Or fit window's always good. You have your selection tool, your rectangle tool if you haven't got it. And right about here, click and drag, and there's our grass. And I can see it's not quite where it should be, so I'm just going to highlight it and use my arrow key and tab it in place. Let's test that out and see what that looks like. See, the clouds are moving across the sky. There's the grass that we put on the windmill movie clip, and there's our grass we just made. Open your library panel again. Don't be concerned that you see things in the library that I haven't talked about yet, because I have to make some preparations in order to make the tutorials. Otherwise they would be very, very, very long. Come down to this spot here, new symbol, click it, and you're going to make another movie clip, and you're going to call it Windmill Travel _MC, capital W-I-N-D, capital M-I-L-L, capital T-R-A-V-E-L, no spaces, _MC. And on that, there's just one layer for sure. That's all we have. And I wrote in 2 text blocks. Text blocks is here. Just pick up text block and do that. And those text boxes are, if you look over here, my properties panel, Lucida Calligraphic, and there's 36 points. They're red, and make sure you click this embed here. This will open up. Uppercase, lowercase, numbers, and punctuation. This is okay up here. Click that, and make 2 of them. Make one and say Windmill. That's the name of the company. And make another text box and call it Travel Agency. Go back to scene 1. Insert another layer. Put this layer above the sky and above the windmill, so that's right on top. Call this Wind Text, W-I-N-D-T-E-X-T, so it recognizes as being the windmill text. Select that frame 1. Make sure all the other layers are locked. Open your library and grab that and drag it in. Now we're going to want that to sort of come in from off the page. So select up around here somewhere for now, up around frame 8. I got 7, that's alright. Insert a keyframe. Leave the windmill where it is, this text label. Go back to this frame 1 and drag it off the stage a little bit higher, so when it comes down it's coming on an angle. In here, classic tween, and that's what will happen when it opens up. Lock all the layers. We're going to do more with this later on when we open these up. Insert another layer. Call it Slogan. S-L-O-G-A-N. Every company has a slogan. Open your library panel. Make a new symbol. Make sure it's movie clip. S-L-O-G-A-N. Slogan _MC. Don't worry that there's things in here that you don't see, that you don't have. And all we're going to do is on this layer 1, I'm using the same font, but you can use any font you want. And I'm just saying here, we are here to help you spend your hard-earned cash. Well, that's just humor. You wouldn't say that, but I'm just doing it. So that's that movie clip made. Go back to scene 1. Select somewhere up here around frame 5. Insert a blank keyframe. Open your library. Bring your slogan MC in. Your slogan movie clip. And we're going to do something very similar. Let's go up to frame 9-ish. Insert a keyframe. This is where the slogan's going to end up when it's finished, somewhere around here. Again, we're going to move these all later on. Go back to that first frame. Drag that slogan off the side. You may have to make this smaller. Drag it off to the side here. And in here, create a classic tween. So now we have two things taking place. Let's test this. Control, test movie, test. And there they come in really fast. But we'll be changing the speed of those as we progress. This is getting pretty long. There will be a part 2. It'll be called Flash Tutorial 56 Basic Website Part 2. Hope you learned something from this tutorial, and I hope you use what you learn.